Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Best of Cold Call Battle 2022. Before we get into this, let me quick introduction of what this is. If you're joining this for the first time, a typical cold call battle is when we invite two or three callers to come in and join and sort of test themselves against each other, where one person becomes the caller, the other person becomes the prospect. And then after each call, we sit down, have a discussion about what they felt went well, what could have been done better. And typically, depending on how many people we have on that call, one person goes up against the other person. So, in a very harmless nature, but not live cold calling per se, but literally simulating calls and each of them sort of bringing in their own tricks, their own skills into the call as well. And the best thing from all of it is, of course, we get to learn what works, what kind of tactics really work for individuals per se. But this episode, we thought, why don't we do a recap of some of the best calls that we've had over the several cold call battles? We ran 5 cold call battles over the course of the last year, and we decided to pick one call from each of the battles and run them for you. So we're going to play the calls unedited in its purest form in itself as the battle happened. And what we'd also try and do for you is at the end of the call, we'd also give you a snapshot of what we felt or what was discussed, of course, on the call in terms of things that actually worked on the call that really went well. And to make things a lot easier at the end of the cold call battle for all you folks who have registered for this session, we will send you a one pager of all the key learnings that we got from all the 5 cold call battles that we've had. So if you're here for the first time, you know what to expect. If you're here as a regular follower of Cold Call Battle, you're going to get some of the highlights, some of the best calls that we've had over the course of the last year. And of course, feel free to drop in your comments as well. We are in a LinkedIn Live session, so feel free to let us know if you have particular questions or particular types of calls you'd like us to carry forward as we are in 2023. We've got a few new Cold Call battles as well lined up for this year. So anything particularly you want us to focus on, feel free to drop in. And with that, let's begin Cold Call Battle, the best of Cold Call Battle 2022.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, is this Shri?
Yes.
Hey, Shri, this is Elliot with Outplay. I know I probably caught you in the middle of something.
Yes, I am driving.
Oh, wow, perfect. Okay, I got your attention. Hey, this won't take too long. Don't worry. You all I need is your ears. Just we're circling around through your profile and just noticed that you kind of looked into Outplay and just kind of wanted to circle back with you and seeing how you've been with X company.
Outplay, man, I looked at 20 different tools. I don't remember.
Oh, Outplay. Oh, it's an omni-channel, one of the best right now. We just got a G2 ranking and we're climbing up, and just wanted to kind of visually show you how we can help your SDRs, AEs, and BDRs get that best experience on their low-hanging fruit.
Man, I don't take care of the sales tools.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can give me a referral, but before I let you go, I just wanted to kind of, give that referral a little, a little hot fire that we have, with our sequences that are, really boiling up the prospecting game. And what I really wanted to show you is visually how I can show you and the person in charge, how we are just, right now just booking meetings left and right. And it's through our activity and sequences, and also through our LinkedIn that we connect with.
Elliot, why don't you send me an email? If it's interesting, I will forward it to the right person.
Absolutely. I'm going to send you 2 minutes on Outplay. And also we have some podcasts that are coming up. Happy to show you how we collaborated with Clary and Gong, and how my CEO is really, collaborating with these companies. Happy to show you on the podcast as well, if you're into podcast.
Yep. Send me one. I will take a look at it.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Happy driving. And I'll send you a couple emails.
Ring.
Hello.
Hey, Kevin with Outplay here. Chat, how you doing?
Doing all right, Kevin. What can I help you with?
Well, look, I know I'm a bit of an interruption calling out of the blue. Not sure if you ever heard of Outplay, my company. Do you have 30 seconds? I'll describe exactly why I called you.
Yeah, man, I got a minute. Go ahead.
Love that. Love that. Well, Chet, we work with early stage companies, mostly technology companies that are focused on optimizing their sales reps' time during the day.
Kevin, sorry to cut you
What
off,
was
man. This sounds like a sales pitch. Can you just like send it over to me in an email, whatever you're talking about, and I'll get back to you?
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to send you an email. I was hoping to have a conversation, Chet. You mentioned that you had a minute. Do you have a minute to have a business level conversation about kind of what your sales team's up to today, or no conversation right now?
Well, we all know that a business level conversation is a little longer than a minute. I'm happy to hear out what you're doing. If you want to send me like your website and like a product one pager, but yeah, I got a pretty busy day ahead of me and I got to run to a meeting.
Hey, Chet, you're totally right. Business level conversations take more than a minute. How about we put 15 minutes on the calendar tomorrow? Does 2 p.m. work for you, Chet?
Yeah, well, if you want to send me some materials, maybe we could chat like early next week, but I'd like to look over something first and have something in hand so I know what we're kind of walking into the call.
Of course. I will send you some materials. Our marketing team is top notch. Chet, before I go, do you mind if I just tell you in one sentence what we do, and you can tell me whether or not it makes any sense for us to talk next week?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Outplay works with high growth sales teams to help them automate most of their mundane tasks and get back extremely valuable time in their day. Does your team today have a solution to automate their workflow for outreach?
No, they do not. So that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
Like I said, if you want to send something over,
Yeah,
to me,
this is going to be Chet. I promise you, this is going to be a really valuable conversation. I'm going to send you this email. Check it out, and then I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to ring this number. This number works. This is in your pocket most of the time.
Yeah, this should be good.
Awesome, Chet. I'll talk to you later. Look out for the email. Bye.
Ring.
Hello, who is this?
Hey, great question. I was going to ask you if this is Ron.
This is he.
Hey, Ron, this is Jake Alba with Sandler Training.
Oh, I've heard of Sandler. How's it going?
Hey, doing well. I'm glad you've heard of Sandler. I guess what familiarity do you have with them, or how did you kind of hear of Sandler?
I've had a few reps in the past that have done Sandler training, and they've just talked about that process and things like that. I don't know much about it personally, but I mean, I'm familiar with it.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you kind of know, I guess, who my company is then. So I actually work with very successful business owners, and I believe you're the CRO, if my notes are correct here.
Yeah, I am still, I hope.
Okay, awesome. So we work with a lot of CROs, and as you mentioned, you've probably run into quite a few reps that have used Sandler or have taken that training. Do you work with anybody currently that's doing the Sandler training, or is that just from previous roles?
I think there's one or two that I hired recently that have done it. Like right now, we are using JB sales training, so we're getting all the reps trained up that way.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, it's not uncommon to connect with business owners or CROs that have some type of training in place. I guess, would it be okay if I briefly explained what we do here at Sandler, and then you can decide whether or not we continue this conversation?
Yeah, salesperson, like I'm gonna give you 2 minutes because like I understand how hard it is to do what you're doing.
Sure.
Not sure how relevant it would be, but let me know, like, how does this change? How does this differentiate from JB sales, and what else do you offer?
Yeah, and I guess some of the big things that we focus on are more just having disarmingly honest conversations with people, and really kind of understanding what it is that they need, or potentially what they're trying to accomplish within their business. And some of the things that we focus on with companies, when they reach out to us, they tell us things like, hey, we're really frustrated that we're having to heavily discount in order to keep up with our competition. Another thing that we hear quite frequently is, we're concerned that we can book a lot of meetings and we're having good conversations, but then we are getting that dreaded, hey, let me think about it, or people just aren't responding, after they've already pitched or given a proposal. And so the deals are just stalling out. And then the last thing that we hear is some businesses are under a lot of pressure and they're a little bit worried, that maybe their margins aren't where they need to be. I guess I'll pause there. Are any of those relevant to you or your world right now?
I mean, I would say the first and third, like looking at the economic climate right now, a lot of people are not buying products in our industry. So just like yes, we are heavily discounting. How would you combat the discounting approach?
So this is how I would do it, and you can let me know what your thoughts are. And I'll ask you an honest question. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So if you were going to buy a product, let's just use a car for an example, right? Let's say you're looking at a Mercedes, and it's the car that you really want. Let's say you have the money to buy it, but it's a little bit more expensive than, an economical car like a Toyota Corolla. Both cars are going to kind of do the same thing, right? But one's going to have a lot better performance. It's the car that you love. And it's just something that you've dreamed of having. So I guess I'll ask you this question. Is cost the most important thing for you? Or is having the peace of mind of having something that you actually are going to love and enjoy, and it kind of fills all of the needs that you kind of have? What type of person are you, I guess?
I mean, I do look at cost definitely. I might be a CRO, but my car just takes me from point A to point B. So yes, I do want something nice to drive, but at the end of the day, it's just how I get there.
So for you, you're the type of person, like, you don't care how you get there, even if it's the car that you love and it's going to perform a lot better than the normal average Toyota. You would still go with a Toyota then, is what I'm hearing?
That's where I started off, so I never forget that.
Okay. So here's one thing that we teach with Sandler is you don't have to discount, but you have to truly understand and value your product. So the reason why sales companies maybe are discounting and why they may have a culture of discounting is because maybe they are not fully valuing like the worth of their product. And so oftentimes it's a disservice to just throw out a price and discount and give something away, and you're not even getting the true value, of the worth of your product. Now, I don't suppose maybe setting up a conversation. I know you said you only had 2 minutes. We're way beyond that now. I don't suppose setting up some time to do a brief 10, 15-minute call to discuss how we can help your reps to not discount is even worth a conversation, is it?
Before I answer that question, Jake, do you mind if I ask you one thing?
Absolutely.
What does pricing look like?
Pricing can vary. So the reason why I don't just throw it on any price is because we like to customize a package that fits exactly what you're looking for. And so if you need like a price range, I guess I'll ask this question in return. Do you have a budget set aside for this type of thing?
It's what I'm spending on JB sales right now. So based on our conversation, I would decide which one would be the Toyota or the Mercedes.
So I think it would be a little bit too early for you to base, your judgment call off of price alone. And so correct me if I'm wrong, I think it might be advantageous for you to learn a little bit more about what we do, how it works, and how we've helped other companies similar to yours before you just make a hasty decision. So I guess I'll ask again, would it be worth risking a brief 10 to 15-minute call to show you that?
Yeah, I have time next week, maybe Thursday.
Okay. So let's do this because I don't want to waste your time. I do want to be respectful of that. I'll send over a brief questionnaire. That questionnaire is going to also highlight maybe some other areas that we can help, or help you maybe identify some blind spots that you have with your current training. Can you fill that out and send it back to me at least 2 days before we meet?
Sure. Yeah, I can get that done.
Okay. The only reason I say that is because it's going to help us to focus on your top priorities and just show you the things that you actually care about and be respectful of your time. So you said next week. Does Wednesday work for you afternoon? Wednesday at 3 p.m.?
Wednesday works, and I'll only consider buying if you discount at the end, right?
So I'm not going to promise that I'm going to discount now, but how about we have that conversation and you let me know whether or not my product's worth paying full price for or not.
Cool. I was just doing that as a joke at the end.
Ring, ring.
Yeah, hello?
Hey, is this Colin?
Yeah, it is. Who's this?
Hey, Colin. My name's Mark Mack. We don't know each other, but how's it going today?
Yeah, not too bad.
Colin, listen, I'm not sure if this is you, but I am looking for the person who's most responsible for your outbound business development motion, if you will.
Yeah, that's me. What you got?
Oh, fantastic. Well, I assume you have a team over there. How they doing?
Yeah, we've got a small team. We've got two BDRs on our team, and fairly new, still ramping up, but things are going well.
With the 2 reps that you have, I mean, are they funneling like, I guess, inbound, or are they doing outbound, or how's that working?
Yeah, I mean, they stay pretty busy with inbound for the most part.
Wow. Okay. So your entire pipeline right now, totally based on inbound leads?
The majority, yes, the majority of it is at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I was checking you guys out. I noticed that, in fact, I think you have been engaged in a lot of, kind of product-led growth. I see a lot of people with free trials out there. I hear a lot of talk about it. If the team is really, that's great. It's great for the team to have just inbound to deal with. Tell me, is there an outbound motion that's going to potentially be on the roadmap for you?
Yeah, we've really been trying to get that thing kickstarted, but we just got so much darn inbound. Sometimes it's been hard to really get it consistently headed in the right direction.
Great. So with the SDR team that you have now, when they take the inbound lead, are they just setting up a demo for one of your account executives to actually handle and potentially close? Or
yeah, I mean, they're qualifying them and running some light disco and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Could the AE team handle more, let's say, more opportunities on a weekly basis? Like what are some of your goals for that over the next couple of months?
Yeah, we definitely have bandwidth to handle more. We're in sort of growth mode, so more is on the mind for sure.
Sure. When you're reaching out to people, I mean, it sounds like it's all inbound. So have you done any outreach to find out if there is like, at least kind of creating demand that way at all, via phone, email, or LinkedIn for that matter?
Yeah, we have, but it's very more focused on like larger opportunities. So not really a ton of volume, but very specific, very focused target accounts.
What's been the biggest problem when targeting those accounts that you've run into? Is it like in terms of like getting them to the table? What has been the biggest obstacle?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we've done enough to have good answers for that.
Yeah. So the reason I'm asking some of these questions, and I totally appreciate you giving me a moment and actually answering them. I work for a company called Carrot. Some of the previous iterations of my partners and I, we tried to outsource business development. We were going to build a team internally, and then we decided to try to outsource it. And each time we tried to outsource it, it failed miserably. And one of the reasons why it failed is, and what we kind of boil it down to, is really finding the right person, your ICP, the right person with the right problem that you can solve for them at the right time, right? And timing is the tricky part. And so what we found when we work with some of these outsourced companies, they would employ a one-dimensional tactic, like either just phone or just email or just LinkedIn. And typically what they really didn't understand is what the problem that we really solved and who we solved it for. And what they were doing externally just didn't really align with what we were doing internally from an inbound or marketing perspective. And so we wasted a lot of time with tire kickers. And then we sat back and we boiled it down to just a couple of, key things that it takes. And one of them, of course, is the timing piece. And that timing piece is the reason why you have to have a very structured and omni-channel approach to going outbound, because you don't know when you're going to hit that customer wherever they may be on the buyer's journey, right? Most of the time, your customers probably don't know who you are and don't know that they have a problem, especially when you're talking about personality.
I got a meeting coming up here soon. I hear what you're saying. I've actually, this is not my first rodeo. I've managed a few teams. We've gone down the outsourced path before, had a lot of the problems that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You said the timing piece is tricky. Targeting people with the right problem. How do you do that? How are you any different than the dime a dozen companies like yourself?
Well, that's a really great question. I'd love to get into it, but since you actually have a meeting coming up, if you could spare 30 minutes on Thursday, I got a time at maybe 2:30 could work. I'd be happy to dig deeper into that for you and give you a much clearer picture.
I'm happy to put something on the calendar if you can give me a good reason, but I haven't really gotten that yet. So if you can tell me, how it is that you solve this problem better than the other people that are reaching out to me constantly. I usually don't even pick up my phone, but I think a lot of things you're saying I resonate with. But how are you solving this different than other people in the marketplace?
Sure. Not a problem. Like I said, it's not just a one-dimensional tactic. So we spend the first 30 days in every engagement doing a rotation inside of your company. Our reps, our sales team will do a rotation inside of your company, understanding what you guys do at a very deep level. And then we spend another portion of those first 30 days rotating inside your ideal customer profile through our network of companies that we've worked with in the past and other leaders that we engage with and collaborate with on the side. Allow us to get insight and data into your ideal customer. Once we identify those key things and understand your customer and what you do at a deep level, we then start to deploy certain kinds of tactics, whether that be phone, email, LinkedIn, social, digital. We have a department in the company that will do SEO and marketing and help you on that side if necessary. But more importantly, when we do that rotation inside your company, we'll get to understand also what you guys are doing, what you're producing in terms of content, blogging, emailing, and link our efforts with that. We don't need any help
on marketing. We're all set. But the outbound sales piece, I'm interested. I've never talked to an outsourced agency that actually spends the time to actually deeply know what it is that we do. So that definitely stands out. But then how is it that you're targeting the right people with the right problem at the right time? That seems like a mystery, and you seem to have solved it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, some of them will, part of it is what you're already doing internally, as you indicated, right? Which is brand development, continuing to push out stuff on the social platforms and drive that awareness of your company. You're going to get that inbound. But then there's people who we might call today, but they're just not ready to have a meaningful conversation today. So we'll put those people through a nurture campaign, push them to your website, get them onto your blog, get them into your community on LinkedIn, get them into our community on LinkedIn. Continue to nurture those people until they are ready, so that when they are ready, they're actually probably just going to call us or call you.
And how are you nurturing them? Because I'd say my experience in the past was there's a lot of companies that can book meetings, but most of those meetings don't stick or never even actually equate to any revenue.
Well, fair enough. I mean, there's definitely, I'll admit that I certainly have had meetings I've set for clients that didn't turn into anything. That's sort of the nature of the game. You may sit down with a client and find out they're really not a good fit for you guys. However, at the same time, or they may decide that you're not a good fit for them. So I can't guarantee I'm going to have you close every deal I put in front of you. But I've our approach is, when warming that lead, is to hopefully only set you a conversation that's going to be meaningful, whether that turns into an actual deal with that particular client right now or in the future. They will be qualified leads. We do our best to, like I said, understand at a deep level what you do, so that as we're communicating that on the phone to these potential prospects, they're clear on what we do, and they'll either book that meeting with us if it's meaningful. Like, we're not, like, you started the call. I mean, I can't bring this up because it's a different call, but you started the call asking me for the time. I don't do that. Like, we spend a lot of time doing that kind of little bit of discovery up front to make sure that we're setting qualified meetings.
Right.
And I think the proof is in the
Sounds
pudding,
like
man.
you're doing things different. I'm happy to, spend a little more time together.
Great. Awesome. What's just so I have the right email there, it's at colinf@humanticai.com. Yeah.
.ai. Yeah.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Michelle?
Sorry. What? Blue, stop. So this is Michelle. I'm walking my dog right now. Sorry. What's going on?
No worries. This is Michael Ashman calling from Lob. Just wanted to say I saw your post on LinkedIn about sales calls needing to be more like a conversation. So I was hoping if you could have 30 seconds for us to chat, and maybe you could let me know after if it was more of a conversation or.
Sorry, Michael. Hold on 1 second. Stop. No, stop. It's not really a great time. So, who did you say you're calling from again?
Yeah, I'm calling from Lob. Understand it's a bad time, but do you have 30 seconds? I can explain why, and then maybe we can try calling back at a better time.
Sure. Why not?
Thank you. Appreciate that. So, reason why I'm calling is we actually just had a partnership with with a very large telecommunication company in your industry. And reason why I'm reaching out to you as the VP of Marketing at Verizon is we solved for their main problem, which was the efficiency of their direct mail campaigns. I was wondering if you are experiencing some of those same pain points.
Yeah, that's just. Could you just send some information over? That's not really something that I handle. As the VP, I've got much more than direct mail going on these days.
Yeah, totally understand. So I would love to. So you'd want it to be specifically about just efficiency, or would you like me to cover kind of a couple of more things that we're doing?
I'm sure we are doing this today in some capacity, obviously given our user base. But I guess I'm still a bit confused as to where the value is, how you differ.
Yeah. So basically, what Lob is the transformation of direct mail. We automate the traditional workflow that is the direct mail process, completely triggered based with an API to be able to be personalized and tracked through the mail stream. What we were able to do with another company of the same size as yours in the same industry was cut their direct mail campaigns down from 2 months to 2 days. Would that be something that could be valuable to your business?
Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying the execution goes from a 2-month play to a 2-day play to actually execute. So if I have a crazy idea today, we could be sending by the end of the week.
You could be sending it before even the end of the week.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. You said you have a customer story. My team does those as well. I know the drill there. So go ahead and send that over to me. And then, if it's interesting, I have your email address.
Awesome. So I can send you that email right now. Just was curious, how long do you think it would take for you to review it?
Michael, it's you. I really appreciate the enthusiasm. I actually was in sales before marketing, so I do get it. But there's there's a lot going on. We're doing our Q1 planning, so I can't really, give you a timeline on reading that email.
Yeah, no problem at all. So if it makes sense to you, we can maybe table this for the new year, and we could circle back the first week of January. Would it be all right if I sent a tentative calendar invite for us to circle back then? If before you review that email and determine that this isn't valuable, feel free to just decline it.
Let's do this. So obviously you have my contact info. Why don't you send an email to me and go ahead and copy in Tom.Smith, who's on my team. And he's a little more in the day-to-day and is actually going to be tasked with reviewing some tools. So go ahead and send the email to me, copy in Tom, and we'll see if he could find some time to meet with you.
Okay, works for me. So I have your email down as michelle.craig@verizon.com, and then I'll also be CCing in tom.smith@verizon.com. And I will include our customer story as well.
Okay, that sounds great. Oh, I gotta go. There's another dog coming. Okay, thanks, Michael.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Hope all of you enjoyed and listened to all of the cold calls that we played. These were, of course, the best of 2022. We were able to showcase 5 of the calls from 5 of the cold call battles. A typical cold call battle session would have gone on for at least 30 minutes with each person going up against each other. And I hope you also stayed back for each of the calls to figure out what are the key lessons that one would pick up from the call as well. But don't worry if in case you weren't able to note down or even grasp that information at that point in time, we will be sending you out a one-pager which will highlight all the key learnings that we've got from the last 5 cold call battles. Anyways, do stay tuned, do watch out, do subscribe on Outplay's page as well, because the next one will be coming up very, very soon. So in the month of Feb, we will be launching our first cold call battle of this year, cold call battle 6. So do stay tuned, do look forward, and of course follow our page so that you know when it's going to come up as well. And feel free to check out Cold Call Battle. Feel free to check out some of our other assets as well. We've got something called the Call of Fame. You will find that on Outplay's website, outplayhq.com. Now, the Call of Fame essentially is recordings, live recordings of folks, of sales folks, SDR folks, while they were actually making calls themselves and how they sort of went through with the call, what was their pitching, what was their messaging, and everything, all of that, to really see a live call per se. All right, so really looking forward to that. So do go and subscribe to the Call of Fame as well. And if you love this session, do stay tuned. We will be coming up with our next cold call battle 6. That will happen very soon. Take care. See you next time.